Yes, Tarushi, you can start.
Good afternoon to everyone. I, Tarshi Tiwari, student of BBA second semester from Department of Management and Commerce at Trinity Institute of Professional Studies, extend a heartfelt welcome to the dignitaries present among us. Dr. R.K. Tandon Sir, Chairman of TIPS, Dr. Barkha Behel Ma'am, Director of TIPS, Dr. Shashi Bala Ma'am, Principal from Law Department, Dr. Mukta Sharma Ma'am, HOD from Computer Science Department, Chief Coordinators of all the departments, faculty members, and students. With vision and mission to transcend the boundaries of education, at Trinity Institute of Professional Studies, we strive to groom future leaders who are not only thorough professionals but also good human beings with values. Our institute aims to achieve this through guidance, research, academic passion, practical industry oriented teaching, and external exposure to the students. With the help of experienced and distinguished faculties and state of the art infrastructure, the Institute has been a home to brilliant students and a number of accolades. A series of eminent lectures, seminars, personality development sessions, and other value adding courses are being conducted under the aegis of Internal Quality Assurance Cell. Through these sessions, we are making an effort to inculcate leadership qualities in students and to help them groom into successful leaders. Moreover, the students have brought laurels to the institutions by bagging gold medals in various competitions and have been placed at famous companies such as Google, TCS, Byju's, Paytm, Amazon, etc. The topic for today's webinar is international opportunities for higher education. The need and craze of the students for studying abroad is not only an idea anymore, but a part of trend nowadays. Studying abroad helps you to learn new languages, appreciate other cultures, overcome challenges of living in another country, and gain a greater understanding of the world. These all things are the modern business what look for them when hiring. And such traits will only become more important in the future. And the process of the same will be taken over by the guest organization, immigration experts. We have with us today Dr. R.K. Tandon Sir, the eloquent speaker himself, the chairman of Trinity and Kamal Group of Institutions. He firmly believes in social work and has bagged numerous accolades to name a few: Avantika Rajiv Gandhi Excellence in Education, Peace, Tolerance and Mercy, World Environment Congress and Global Assembly, Excellence Award of 2018 in the field of social welfare for outstanding work. He is also the president of Bharat Vikas Parishad of West Zone, Delhi. The Rotary Club of New Delhi has recognized his excellent contribution towards the society as a whole. We welcome you, sir. We also have with us today Dr. Barkha Behel Ma'am, the Director and Professor at Trinity Institute of Professional Studies. Her areas of specialization in teaching, research, and database management system, web technologies, e-business, and data models. She has presented papers, delivered lectures, resource person for value-added courses, and chaired sessions in seminars. She has numerous research articles in national and international journals of repute to her credit. Moreover, she has also undertaken and guided various research projects. We welcome you, ma'am, and request you to enlighten us.
Thank you, Tarushi. Good afternoon, one and all present today. Dr. Shashi Bala, Principal Law Department, our distinguished guests, my dear colleagues and students present today. Trinity Institute of Professional Studies, in collaboration with immigration experts, is privileged and honored to host a webinar on international opportunities in higher education. A very warm and hearty welcome to Ms. Mary Kankar, Mr. Divya Nagpal, and Mr. Manish for being the resource person for today's webinar. Postgraduate education, as the name suggests, can be pursued by those who have completed a bachelor's degree. PG courses involve studying and learning for academics or professional degree, diplomas, or certificates varying from country to country. The USA, UK, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia are top study destinations preferred by the Indian students. Recently, with the market convergence, various subjects like data analytics, business analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, fintech, blockchain, etc., have become as popular as traditional engineering, management, or journalism courses. With the onset of pandemic, students are more confused with which course they should opt, from where to do, and which country to move to, and their related job prospects, what will be return on money, etc. Some of the doubts with them. To resolve students' such doubts, we have initiated to hold a webinar on the said topic. I hope Ms. Carrie Kankar, along with Divya Nagpal and Mr. Manish, will provide the insights of studying from abroad, and students will surely be able to get their various doubts clarified. With these words, I end here and thank Mr. Divya Nagpal, Mr. Manish and Ms. Mary Kankar for being instrumental for organizing today's webinar. Thanks to our Honorable Chairman, sir, for providing guidance, support, and inspiring all of us to conduct such events all through. Thanks to Ms. Tanya and Ms. Priyanka Saluja, event in charges for the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Immigration experts, their forte lies in providing proper guidance and step-by-step method following so that the student gets the complete knowledge on courses and various universities and visa process. At Immigration Experts, they aim to provide specialization in migration to foreign students, advisory services, and other immigration-related services in order to help the global community. They have made their niche market in the business by providing expert advice and immigration assistance for those aspiring to settle, work, and study abroad. We have with us the CEO of Immigration Experts, Mr. Manish Srivastava. He is an expert when it comes to dealing with various cases of immigration. He has created a team which helps you right from the scratch till the time you get settled in abroad. He is well aware of all the norms and rules of immigration and offers the best advice and service in his regard. He has worked as the country head of India for one of the largest private immigration consultancies in United Kingdom. We also have with us the Delhi branch head of Immigration Experts, Mr. Divya Nagpal. He is a very passionate about creating a positive future for students and families and has played an important role in building the business with a value system that encourages the people and focused on social impact. He is well versed in procedures and law and committed to providing the best possible solution to every applicant. His vast knowledge of universities and courses make his students easily choose what's best for them. We welcome you, sir. We also have with us Ms. Mary Kankar, the Director of Global Alliance Overseas Education Private Limited. Ms. Mary is a certified expert in the field of study abroad. Having a rich experience in career counseling, she has managed to create the great alumni students at world's top-notch universities. not only certified by counseling awarding bodies, but she is also a certified trainer from IELTS EDP, British Council, Pearson PTP, and ETS TOEFL. We welcome you, ma'am. Over to you.
All right, so thank you, Tarushi, for such a wonderful introduction. And hello, everyone, and good afternoon. And I hope everyone is doing well in this pandemic. So I welcome you on behalf of both the institutions, and I hope we would be taking up with a very good takeaways upon this webinar. We are going to conduct today's webinar on a very generic format. We are not going to get into details because I want we should have more Q&A sessions, because I want to interact more and more with you guys on one-to-one basis, so that it would be quite easier for us to resolve your queries on one-to-one. So we can start with the webinar, and I'm just going to share my screen. Just confirm whether you can see my screen. Is my screen visible? All right. Shall we start, Tarushi?
Yes, we can start. Your screen is visible.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for confirming. So agenda of today's session would be about study abroad, like what exactly the study abroad is all about, and why people are more and more crazy nowadays to go abroad and study and explore their region. So we are going to discuss a bit in brief about that. And the second session which we are going to conduct is the second agenda which we are going to opt for is why to opt study at an international location. Like what are those perks for students to get into an international location and get themselves groomed at an international education path. The third thing which we are going to discuss is the current trend on the countries, because there are different rules and regulations which student needs to understand, because each country, each university, and each state has their own rules, regulations to be followed, and that's how the study abroad plan makes sense. So what are the current trends which are going on? We are going to discuss about it. We are also going to discuss about the pocket friendliness. So the moment I encounter more and more number of students, they usually think that going abroad is something which is not affordable with everyone, or something which is going to be with a big budget or big bank stuff. But it's really not the case. It depends upon which university you want to study for, what exactly are your career goals, and what exactly you wish to study further. And we are also going to discuss in brief about the criterias of each country. So I'm going to take up a quick know-how about what are the criteria we can opt for, and which country follows what rules and regulations. And last but not the least, about the courses and the Q&A session. So I hope we all are ready. Meanwhile, I would request you, all of you, to drop your questions on the chat box, so that I can take up the Q&A after the presentation. I can take up a Q&A session there. So moving further, what is study abroad? So it doesn't have a proper definition what exactly the study abroad is, but it all depends upon persons to person's own interest. So a few students wish to study abroad just to get an international degree. Few has their own definition of getting through a motto that we want to explore different cultures. It's not only about exploring and getting a degree and having a different cultures, but you also need to learn different languages. And that's how you get and cultivated with the international exposure. So say, for example, if you are a law student, or if you are a student from a commercial background or an engineering background, you are not limiting yourself with the traditional method of learning, but you are also learning an international concepts behind each education you are carrying further. So it's not limiting you by just learning a glimpse of or the fundamental parts, but it is also going to give you a practical exposure. You don't have only a chance to meet the Indian students, but visiting to different country, being there would give you a chance of residency. This residency would not only allow you to be a part of education system, but it would also allow you to interact with different nationality people. This is not going to limit yourself, but it is going to blossom your instincts. Though you will be an introvert person, it may help you to become a bit of outward. And this is really going to make you an industry ready person. And hence, everyone who are investing behind their education in study abroad are expecting some sort of return on investment. And this is an addition to return on investment, which you are going to do. So study abroad is something which is really, really amazing part. Each student has their own pros and cons of going there, but they have their own reasons to opt for it. And the majority of them has the reason to earn while the learning. That is one of the best solutions or best reasons which students put while they want to go and study abroad. All right, so as I said earlier, why to choose study abroad? So n number of reasons are there why students prefer to study abroad. Amongst that, few are like international university, which allows the students to learn and earn at the same time. So you are allowed to work part-time while you are studying, and that is going to give you an opportunity to get through a practical exposure. So say, for example, if you are a commerce student or you are a mechanical engineer or you want to go and study, you are studying something which is a theory, a practical into lab, and you get an opportunity to put all those practical skills into the industry for certain hours, and that is going to make you more industry ready. Apart from this, you are also earning, hence you are managing your expenses by yourself, hence you're not asking your parents to drop you some sort of monies to get you a livelihood, but you are earning it by yourself. Exposure towards the global practices, providing the global job opportunities. Now, as you have been learning into an international education system, you are not limiting yourself working only at a local level, but you would also be able to work with different kind of MNCs and global job opportunities. So you have a majority of opportunities. If you even coming back to your home country, you have an opportunity to stay back in your home country and work with different major MNCs who have been investing in India. If you want to stay back in that particular country, you still have inculcate with a very good skills, which is going to get you to n numbers of jobs. You're getting an opportunity to earn 50 times on average more than your Indian colleagues. So this is something which is going to be a very calculative part. Like you are studying in Canada, you are studying in UK, Australia, New Zealand. You are earning 50 times more because $1 is equal to going to be a very huge conversion part. And that's a very good opportunity, which is going to get you with good number of remuneration once you are done with your education. Apart from this, many students who are excellent with their academic opportunities, they are excellent with their academic skills, they have an opportunity to apply for scholarships. And hence, the studies and the investment which you are going to make would be more pocket friendly. And this is really going to help you to ensure that you are having a more pocket friendly education system. And hence, students have got an opportunity to get more than $50,000 scholarship on the PhD parts as well. So it all depends upon the student's profile, and it all depends upon the student's own interest in the courses which they want to get through. All right, so coming to the next part and very interesting part, the major countries which students, the Asian students majorly offer is Canada. Canada is something which is more and more in reach of the international students who are aspiring to study at an international level. Why Canada? I mean, all students have one typical question: why everyone wants to go to is Canada? And the only reason behind that is it's one of the most pocket-friendly country, providing with the best immigration and settlement options for the students who are willing to go and study abroad. And hence, being an English-speaking country, Canada is not only assisting you with a good education system and a practical part, but they are also going to give you more pocket friendly opportunities, which is definitely going to get you a stay back options. So those who are willing to offer Canadian as an education system and have completed their 12th standard and wants to go for a bachelor's degree, you have an opportunity for that. And those who have completed their bachelor's degree and wants to upgrade their skills at a postgrad level, they have an opportunity to apply for a graduate certificate, or they can apply for a master's degree. If you study for 1 year in Canada, you have an opportunity to extend your 1 year visas into work permit and then apply for permanent residency. Those who are applying for 2 or more years of education, they are getting an opportunity to apply for 3 years of work permit, and after that, they can apply for permanent residency. While studying, you would be allowed to work part-time, that is 20 hours per week, and full-time in vacations. The minimum wages which students can earn while studying in Canada is $15 per hour, which is a very handsome amount to cultivate your own residencies. And hence, you can earn your own livelihood while you are studying. You are also allowed to work full-time while you are studying in Canada. And that's all about Canada. And that is what a Canadian education system provides us with the best solutions with. The average cost of studying in Canada starts with 6 to 7 lakhs. It goes up to 10 to 12 lakhs. And that's what the easiest immigration policies plays an important role with. They have the other expenses included as well. So we can talk about it in case if you want to get through. The second most important destinations among the international students to offer is UK. UK is something which is upcoming major country where British education system is something which we also follow in India. And hence, it's the great opportunity for the students to transfer the credits of the bachelor's and complete the rest of their bachelor's back in UK, or you have an opportunity to get through the world-renowned master's degree with a very pocket-friendly expenses. You have immense opportunities to apply for scholarship, which starts with £500. It goes up to £5,000, which is 50,000 rupees to 5 lakhs rupees as well. It all depends upon the student's own requirements and their own performance during their academics. UK will give you an opportunity to study for 1 year. You also have an opportunity to apply for 1 year of master's and 1 year of placement. The placement which has been provided by the universities themselves, and definitely you have an opportunity to apply for the work permit upon completion of it, which is for 2 more years. Hence, you have immense opportunity to get back the return on the investments which you have already made. And hence, you have very good opportunity of stay back options as well. Saying this, you are also allowed to work part-time, that is 20 hours per week, and full-time in vacations. Those who are very research-oriented people and wants to go with further research or belonging from any sort of technological backgrounds or any students wanting to apply for a very good B schools can apply for UK and USA both. USA is again one of the major education system and major education part. USA has not only provided good number of alumni across the world, but it is also a hub of the majority of the big companies specializing in each and every field, starting from supply chain management till going through all the fields, which includes law, STEM, computer science, research, PhDs, etc. USA, being the majority of education hub, is going to provide you with the well-settled education system, starting and ranging from bachelor's degree to your PhD and researches. USA also provide the master's degree where you can study for 2 years of master's and have an opportunities to complete your OPTs and CPTs, that is the curricular practical trainings or optional practical trainings upon completion of your degrees. You are required to have excellent academics to apply for a scholarship or a teaching assistantship or a research assistantship in order to get stipend along with your studies. As I said, in Canada and UK, even in USA, while going for a post-graduation, you are allowed to work for 20 hours per week while studying and full-time in vacations. Moving ahead to Australia, being one of the most amazing country and being #1 for international students' wages, Australia is known for its master's degree and bachelor's degree back in the studies, which is into management, nursing, medicals, laws, and commercial fields as well. Now, Australia is known for its education system. Following with the British education system, Australia has already enhanced numbers of students and given them the opportunities to stay back. Australia provides the wide range of courses starting from a technical diplomas to a bachelor's and a master's degree. You have to study 2 years of master's in order to get through 2 years of work permit. If you're studying for a bachelor's degree, you also entitle yourself for 2 years of work permit, 2 to 3 years of work permit. Right now, according to the current situation or pandemic situations, the borders for Australia and New Zealand for international students are closed until the further notice. And hence, those who are aspiring to study in Australia or New Zealand need to wait for a couple of more months for the updates to receive, and then you can start your process studying in Australia or New Zealand. And hence, Australia and New Zealand being the sister countries follow almost all the similar rules and regulations, wherein New Zealand offers variety of practical studies to the international students, starting from culinary arts, going to the law, supply chain management, electrical engineering, civil engineering, creating immense opportunities for the international students. New Zealand has declared themselves as the first COVID-free country amongst the other countries in India, across the globe for the international students. And hence, they're a bit afraid as of now to call any international students on board. And hence, we again need to wait for the next news from the immigration for the New Zealand immigrations for the international students to migrate. Talking about Germany, it's one of the best country to opt for, but basically it's for the students who are more into research, more into PhDs, and more into the excellent academics to opt for. Germany would definitely provide you with wide range of courses, but simultaneously you need to learn the local language to approve yourself with the local stuff. Germany is providing you wide range of courses starting from bachelor's degree to master's research and PhD, where you are expected to learn at least B1 level of German language. That is, you can thoroughly speak, understand, and read the German language, which has been expected out of you. France, again, last but not the least, is a very good country to study a management education, fashion management, or anything which is related to international trade laws. France would also expect you to learn the French as a language because that is something which is expected out of all the students to survive themselves for the part-time job opportunities. And lastly, those who really want to explore a different world and they actually want to go with the top B schools can offer Singapore as an option. These are the major countries which international students from India and Asia majorly prefer to opt for. There are other countries as well, but majoritarily students love to opt for this because you would find their own communities out there. Moving ahead, finances and expenses. So it's always been said that I have already included a part while giving you a brief about each country and the expenses incurred, but it's always been that people think that investment is so much and going to abroad is something which is not affordable. But as I said earlier, you can offer an education loan, you can offer a scholarship, you can also apply for assistantship from your universities, and hence you can reduce the expenses which has been incurred. This is not considered as an expenses which has been made, but this is also considered as the investment which one student makes. Saying this, it's an investment behind your bright future, and then you can start earning 50 times, 70 times more than the other counterparts who are doing the post-education back in the home countries. Though it is going to be a bit harsh at initial stages, but working part-time and working full-time during vacations is going to take up all those counterparts and going to get yourself, believe in yourself and get through the expenses by yourself. And hence, you won't be investing such a huge amount, but you are going to reduce the amount by doing so. All right, so let's talk about more about the entry criteria, selection and profile criteria. I have given a brief about it, but going for any of the above countries which we have discussed already, we need two things which is on a priority. One thing is the academic performance, which starts with 50% minimum. It goes up to 75, 80%, depending upon the university and the country we opt for. And it also depends upon the profile criteria. That is, what you have done during your academic curriculum. So say, for example, you have opted for any practical internships. If you have opted for any summer internships, you have participated into freelancing projects, all these are always being counted while you are making up your profile stronger to make up an applications to the universities across the globe. Apart from this, language is something which is very important, and hence all the above countries, though they have their own regional languages, are majoritarily offering English as a first language. Saying this, you need to appear for IELTS, that is International English Language Testing System, an examination which has been conducted by Cambridge Board as a part of your selection criteria. You have overall 9 bands in IELTS, wherein you are expected to score minimum 6.5 bands in order to get through the admission. The band criteria might be lowered down or might get higher depending upon the university and program you are opting for. Saying this, if you're opting for any good B schools or law schools, they have their own different entrance qualifications to be appeared for, and that depends upon the university we opt for. And these are the two major concerns and two major important selection criteria when we are putting up your portfolio across the university and the colleges in the international market. Saying this, international market. Now, international market is escalating like anything, global operation differences. So it's not a world way back 20 years where things were really not approachable. Things are more and more approachable for the international students market, and studying abroad for international students is going to give them a chance to explore their wings at an international level. Regardless of the program you study, it all depends upon the opportunity you actually want to grab for. So it is no such demands which has been created across the globe. It is all about the demands which student wants to create themselves at a global market. And hence, international market has always been explored at an international level where student definitely can earn more and more while studying and upon studying, and they also have an opportunity to stay back in that particular country upon completion of their graduation. Saying this, you have invested behind your studies, you worked for a certain time, you got return on the investment which you have made, and lastly, you have an opportunity to apply for an immigration visas, which is known as permanent residency visas, and get yourself and your family settled once you are done with your graduations or the post graduations. Saying this, I would like to open with the majors of the study abroad plans. Majority of the students love to study abroad, but the major courses which has been opted for the students are majorly into management. That is a very good top B schools are expected out of the students. The students love to study law as a course, supply chain management, STEM courses, medical courses. The students belonging from any research backgrounds love to study. And again, you don't have to study a generic stuff. In case if somebody is interested into core modules, they are definitely invited to study the major subjects while going abroad. So you are not limiting yourself studying with the generic education, but you are also allowed to learn the major difference and different measures along with your specialized degrees. So say, for example, you are studying MBA, you are allowed to study MBA with marketing and HR as a dual degree. If you want, you can offer a sandwich courses where you are combining 2 different degrees simultaneously. It all depends upon the country and the university we are investing for. After this, I would like to open up the session for Q&A, where I'm going to stop my screen and would request the students to give a Q&A session. You can start dropping your questions. Regardless of the countries, whatever questions you have regarding study abroad, I'm open here for the answers, and definitely don't feel shy. We are definitely going to cover up all the questions. All right. So meanwhile, students can do that. I have a couple of questions as a direct message, which has been given. So what is the difference between the education in India and abroad? So majorly, I don't say that the education system is something which is a problem, because definitely Indian education is awesome to opt for. Studying abroad, as I discussed earlier into the first two slides, it has always been welcome that you have already been a part of Indian education system since your childhood. Studying a master's or a post graduation or a bachelor's degree would definitely give you a glimpse of international touch. So those traditional method of Indian systems would, you can get rid of it, and you have an opportunity to see yourself at an internationally educated person, where you have updated your skills, you have updated your criteria at an international level, and hence you have an opportunity to explore it at a wide range. Apart from this, you are also doing a practical studies, which is going to get you earn n number of money while studying, which is a different part according to the Indian education system. And hence, I would suggest that going for a post graduation would definitely change your personality at all. I got another question here from Shreya. What all exams we have to clear to get an admission in Australia for MBA? So it's a very good question. Ideally, you are required to appear for either an English language test, that is IELTS, as I said earlier, or you can appear for PTE as an exam, which is Pearson Test of English. With the minimum score of 55 to 60% overall in your last bachelor's degree, you are allowed to study MBA in Australia. The MBA lasts for 2 years, and upon 2 years of studies, you are allowed to work for 2 more years. And if you're going with the regional locations, you are allowed to work 3 years, and then you can apply for your permanent residency. All right. I got another question from Tushar. Thank you for your question, Tushar. I'm in a second semester BBA. If I want to apply for MBA in Canada after completion of my BBA, how can I do that? And what are the required budget for MBA in Canada? All right, so this is very lovely question I would like to take up so that students can understand it. We belong to two different education systems in the world. One is the British education system, British and EU, and another one is the American education system. Canada follows is the American education system, where they expect us to have 4 years of bachelor's degree upon completion of your 12th standard. Saying this, BBA majorly in India, unless you are opting for honors degree, it is for 3 years. And hence, opting for MBA directly for Canada might limit your system. You have very limited options for universities which accepts +3. And hence, we would suggest, rather than going for MBA directly, or for 1 year of post-graduation or 2 years of post-graduation studies back in Canada, which is going to be way cheaper than what you are going to invest for MBA. And then you can apply for work permit. Once you are done with your permanent residency, you can surely apply for your MBA, which can lead you to a very good B schools like Chile School of Business, John Morris School of Business, Toronto School of Business. These are going to be criteria. I mean, these are going to be the universities which you can opt for. So rather than investing such a huge amount at initial level, it is always recommended you go with the graduate certificates, study that, apply for work permit, get through your PR, and then apply for MBA, which is going to cost you 1/3 because you are a local student then. I got another question from Prankit. Okay. Can we do post-graduation management course in after doing BCA from India? Of course, you can do that. You can do post-graduation courses. The short-term courses are available in Canada. The short-term courses are available in New Zealand as well. So you can apply for both the countries, whatever you want to study the specialization in. So after doing BCA, you are eligible to apply for data sciences in case if you learn Python as a language, or you can apply for business analytics, data analytics, or you can apply for any such specializations you want to. So the degree would be for 1 to 2 years, and you would be eligible to 2 to 3 years of 3 years of work permit in Canada, and then you can apply for your permanent residency. I got another question from Garima. What to do to get a letter from university for sure in Canada? It depends upon the education you belong from, Garima, and it all depends upon which university we want to apply for. Having an excellent academic could lead you to universities in Canada, but approaching to the universities in Canada is something which is a very sensitive matter, because colleges can readily give you an admission, but universities are something which requires you to have a very good portfolio, and hence your statement of purpose, letter of recommendation from your professors with whom you have already studied, your CV makes an important role. And hence, while drafting those letters, it is very important that it should be proofreaded by an experienced counselor, which is going to help you to get through the admissions, the confirmed admissions. Do we need work experience opting MBA in Canada? For majority of the B school across the globe, not only Canada, requires minimum 2 to 3 years of work experience in order to get through admissions. Apart from this, majority of the universities and the top B schools require students to have GMAT as an examinations, which needs to be cleared, where you are expected to score 700 to 750 as a score. But don't worry, there are the universities which accept the students without work experience as a freshers MBA and without GMAT scores as well. It depends upon your study background back in India. I got another question from Karan. If I want to study MBA in Germany, which exams I need to be given and which is the criteria of passing? MBA, ideally, it's been offered by the public university and the private universities, both in Germany, wherein if you want to study MBA from a top public schools, you require to have GMAT as a score, at least A1, A2 level of German language, and IELTS. If you're applying for privately owned institution, you don't require any examinations to be appeared. You can straight away apply for IELTS, score 6.5, not less than 6, and you can get through the admissions into MBA in Germany. I got another question. If I clear GMAT, then is it necessary also to give IELTS? Yes, dear, it is. Both the examinations are different. It is, if you are applying for GMAT, that is an entrance qualification going through your analytical skills, and IELTS is going to prove your English language skills, which is the requirement of the colleges, and hence you have to give both the examinations in order to get through the admissions. What are the options for BCA students in USA? So you can definitely apply for the master's degree, that is MSCs, but ideally there are very certain limitations in USA to offer master's degree after BCA, because ideally, as I said earlier, BCA in India or BBA in India or BSc in India is ideally for 3 years of courses, and USA follows is the American education system, where we need to have 4 years of bachelor's degree, and hence it is a bit tedious to get through the admission, and hence it is always suggested you might get through a pre-qualifying courses leading to a master's degree. I got another question from Amisha. Ma'am, 4 years bachelor's degree is required in most of the countries for masters. Eligibility criteria for India. So only again apply for masters in any other countries. My question is, should we apply for PGDM for full masters like MBA in India, then apply for other countries? Okay. Amisha, bachelor's, 4 years bachelor's is not a criteria for all the countries or most of the countries. It's only for the countries which follows the American education system. So if you want to study MBA from UK, or say, for example, you want to study MBA from European Union, or you want to study from Australia, New Zealand, they don't require you to have 4 years of degree. They would accept you with your 3 years of bachelor's degree as well. Now, in case if you want to move to Canada, as I explained earlier to the other student, we can study 1 year or 2 years of PG courses in Canada itself, and then you can extend your MBAs upon getting your permanent residency. In this way, you are going to save your money, you are going to save the entire expenses of an international student, and doing MBA at a local price is something which is very advantageous. I got another question from Anushka, that how can one enter into Ivy League universities for postgrads? So Ivy League universities are highly competitive, and they require you to have a very good portfolios in terms of your extracurricular activities, in terms of academic extracurriculars and sports extracurriculars as well. So in case if you have a very good number of achievements with the good academic credentials, we have to build up a very nice academic CV along with the letter of intent, and we need to approach to the Ivy League university. The second most important thing is Ivy League. For your Ivy League universities, we need to apply well in advance before the deadlines are crossed. So it is always suggested you apply for a priority applications or an early bird application so that the chances are quite higher comparatively while you are applying at a deadline time. There is another question from Divyart. What are the competitive examination for these colleges? I'm sorry, but which colleges are you talking about, Divyart? Ideally, competitive exam is only one, that is IELTS. For management, it is GMAT, and those students who opt for engineering or technology courses, for them it is GRE as an examinations. There is another question. Can someone go for 1 year of course initially at Canada? After completing 1 year of course, can opt for additional co-op courses or any 6 to 8 months courses and get 3 years of PSWP? Of course, you can do that. Co-op is nothing. Co-op has nothing to do with the duration of the courses. It depends upon the courses you want to opt for. So, say for example, you are opting for a course which is a technical course. Majority of the technical courses are the co-op courses. Co-op is the practical internship, which is a part of your education. So it is added into your curriculum. So say for example, you're going for 1 year of study, 560 hours is something which you have to invest behind your industrial experience, which is known as co-op. It might be paid or unpaid. And then you can go ahead with your PSWP. Saying this, if you're applying for 1 year of courses, that is a postgrad courses, you can get 1 year of work permit. In case if you think that, no, I want 3 years of work permit, rather than extending it to work permit, you can extend your visas into 1 more year of study, and you can apply for 3 years of PGWP. I got another question from Shreya. For study loan, where we have to apply for that? Education loans can be applied through the nationalized banks back in India. It depends upon what course you want to study, what amount you want to cover, and what exactly is mentioned on your admission letter. After that, you need to see what collateral and what actually properties or fixed deposits you want to keep as a security with the bank, and go ahead with the education loan against that. There is another government approved loans available as well, which you need to check on the local government website as well, which takes really long time. But yes, you might get few scholarships out of it. On what basis do we get scholarships? Scholarship ideally depends upon the student's portfolio, that is student's academic performance back in India. It depends upon the extracurricular activities student has opted for and when you are applying for. Because for scholarship, it is always suggested you make up an application as an early bird student rather than making up an application on later on stages. What is TOEFL? Some universities are showing the grade for it on Google. So TOEFL is again one of the examination which is proving your international English language skills. Ideally, TOEFL is meant for the students who opt for USA as their educational destinations, and majorly for medical students. In case if you are a general student and either from a STEM or management background, we ideally suggest you appear for IELTS because that is globally accepted. Is 3 years bachelor's degree accepted in Germany? Yes, it is accepted for management for private institutions. What is the procedures to learn LLM in abroad? So law, a very nice question. Law is something which is a kind of degree which requires you to have a registration. So course registration means in case if you want to practice law, you need to have a registration back in that particular state and a country, right? So in case if you want to move to abroad, you can get into the generic laws like international trade laws, corporate laws, and you can get into GDPs and LPPs kind of degrees where you can be a notary person, or you can be people who can work there, but you can't practice law unless you get a registered degree from that particular degree. So you can go with the generic laws and work into the corporate law stuff. So can we do directly MBA after BBA in UK as it is following? Yes, you can surely do MBA after your BBA in UK as it follows British education system. So you are definitely eligible for doing your MBAs after BBAs. After 3 years of bachelor's, 2 years of work experience, are we eligible for MBA in Canada, and what are the exams we need to give? Those universities who would accept your 3 years of bachelor's degree are 6 to 7 universities. Those university would accept you with 3 years of bachelor's regardless of number of years of work experience you have. Lastly, if you want to get into MBAs, for fresher MBA, they don't require any competitive exams, but for a good universities or good B schools, you need to have GMAT as a qualification to be cleared. Can I opt for MBA in US after 3 years of BCA? Yes, you can opt for MBA in US after 3 years of BCA. Okay, Anushka, for exact procedure, it depends upon your profile to apply for Ivy League universities. So I would request if you could just get connected to either of us from the panel. We can call you or we can get connected over Zoom again, and then I can guide you further, because that's a very long process to apply for Ivy League universities and colleges. Is it important to get ourselves enrolled in any institute for studying abroad? Yes, of course. Getting enrolled with the institute would really help you to get through a very good procedural stuff. So it is always suggested that you get a proper professional guidance to get yourself enrolled for study abroad, because choosing a correct university with limited budget is something which is expected out of you. Shreya is asking a question. TOEFL is mandatory in France for MBA. Either TOEFL or IELTS, you can opt for it. There is another question. Can't we go for some diploma courses after BBA instead of MBA in India itself? Of course, as I said earlier, you can go for a short-term courses. If you're opting for Canada as a study destination, you can offer any specializations like international business management, brand management, green business management. You can go with international supply chain management, marketing management, any short-term courses or wealth management, financial plannings, forensic accounting, anything which you want for, and you can offer any specialization for short-term diploma courses, and you can offer it. There is another question which has been asked: what is the minimum budget to get MBA degree from USA? That's a very huge question, Dave, because it depends upon USA comprises of more than 4,500 university and colleges. Saying this, all the university has their own criterias. Now, minimum budget for MBA, you could say it starts with 30 lakhs, it goes up to 40, 50, 60, 70 lakhs, depending upon which type of B schools you are opting for. There is another question. Can you tell me about different MBA programs? So MBA could be of several types. Just a moment. I'm sorry, I just got some connectivity issue. All right. So, okay, which are the different MBA programs? So MBAs are a general MBA program, which is for a freshers. There is another MBA, which is known as a work experience kind of MBAs, which requires you to have 2 to 3 years of work experience with GMAT and a good B school, good percentage. And lastly, you have an executive MBA. Executive MBA requires you to have 8 to 9 years of work experience minimum at a managerial position to get enrolled, get yourself enrolled to MBAs. Is there any disadvantages of doing PG diploma courses in Canada? Of course not. I mean, Canada is more of practical education, and doing any sort of PG diplomas or PG certificate courses won't harm your opportunities back in Canada, because again, Canadian industry requires you to have a very good practical exposure rather than all the theories which you have learned. So it's a land of opportunities, and I don't think so it is going to hamper your stay back options, either back in Canada. There is another question from Pia. Do Canadian universities provide placement after MBA? Okay, that's a very nice question. Abroad university doesn't work the way Indian institutions work, like placement and stuff. They do have international students portal, where upon getting enrolled to the university, paying the fees, you have an access to a different job portals, which they have an accreditations with. And once you are done with your graduation or maybe post graduation, and once you are into the last semester, there would be different companies posting a job back in that portal itself. You might, and you have to post your resume. Once it has been done, you would be getting through entire placement options and placement opportunities, and you might get connected yourself with either of the companies, and you can get through placements. Aditya, if you could just unmute yourself and get me your question, because I don't understand what deferred MBA means. All right, so meanwhile you're doing so, I'm just getting through the question of Shrishti. Can we get job after diploma courses? Of course, you have an opportunity to get through the jobs upon completion of your diploma courses, specifically into your own field. Which country offers best MBA? MBA doesn't have to do anything with the countries. It all have to do is with the B schools. So when you're Googling up, you don't Google up with the countries, but you Google up with the top B schools. So you would find top B schools in USA, in Canada, you can find it in Spain, France. You can also find in few Netherlands and stuff like that. Few European countries also have a very good B schools. You would recommend PGDM in which courses in Canada? It depends upon the student study background. If you are belonging from a management background, it depends upon you and your interest. So I always insist, don't go with the requirement of the country, go with your interest, because unless it interests you, you won't be able to work it properly. So say, for example, if I say financial planning is something which is very important and which is very well-known courses and in-demand course in Canada, that doesn't mean that all the students would love to get through financial planning. I personally don't like finance. I personally don't like accounting. I am not a number person. So the moment you ask me to talk with you, I can do that. So I can offer a courses which is a brand management. I can get into public relation, corporate communications. I can get into other courses which is relevant to something which is more theory rather than creative writings and stuff, rather than getting into more practical or statistical stuff. So it's okay, whatever course you offer, you should love doing that. That's it. Or else opportunities are always there. Okay, there is another question. Does BBA and other courses have same valued recruitment process after completing master's courses like MBA? Recruitment solely depends upon students' skills. It doesn't depend upon the degree you opt for. So say, for example, I hold an MBA degree. But then I lack behind something which is known as the practical skills or the confidence which employer needs. And somebody else coming for an interview holds a very good practical exposure, having a very good knowledge about the field they want to get through. So I don't think so that they would select somebody holding an MBA. I don't say MBA is absolutely vague degree. Though having an MBA, you need to have those practical skills. And if you're having a graduate certificates or diplomas, you need to have those practical skills as well. So I would personally suggest that you need to have the practical skills regardless of the courses you opt for. And that would create a good recruitment opportunities for you. Okay. Getting Ivy League is very difficult, but there are many other colleges. So what would be the process of applying? Process of application starts with your interest. So say, for example, you guys are looking for fall 21, 22. So the admissions would start this year, October. So you need to be ready with your competitive examinations like IELTS scores. You need to be ready with your letter of recommendation, statement of purpose, CV. You need to be ready with all your other documentation which is required by the universities. And then once the applications start, we need to apply online, and we have to submit all the additional documents and the essays which has been required by the universities. So process would remain same. The documentation part would differ according to the university to university. All right, so there is another question. What are the diploma courses that then we can opt for after BBA degree? And what are the options do we have after completion of this course? Okay. If you have opted for BBA, Shrishti, you can definitely offer any specializations you want. You can go with MBA, you can go with the postgrad courses, you can go with any specializations which I already mentioned earlier, like you can go into supply chain management, finance, HR, marketing, creative writing. You can go with the courses which is related to more statistical, forensic accounting and stuff like that. It all depends on your own interest, and you can definitely offer it. Okay, Aditya, definitely you can get connected to your coordinator back in the university. They can give my contact details to you, and we can surely get connected personally. If I want to apply for MBA after completing BBA, is it mandatory to participate into extracurricular activities? If you have participated, it is good. If you haven't participated, I won't prefer you to apply for Ivy League universities, because those universities would personally love you to have with good extracurricular stuff. What are the different master courses after MBA? You can offer, again, any specialization like MBA, MSc management. You can go with MSc into or MA into international business, international trade laws. You can go with triple degrees or sandwich degrees like data analytics, business analytics. You can go with the courses which is into banking, finance, anything which HR, anything. For Ivy League, majority of B schools would require you to have minimum 2 to 3 years of work experience. All right. Any other questions? We still have time, and I would love to take up those questions as well.
Yes, Mary, I can see there is one question on YouTube live, that what is the difference between MBA and MIM, and what job options are there after that?
All right, thank you so much for raising this question, ma'am. So MBA is more of management studies, that is a generic master's in business administration, wherein master's in international management is something which is a generic course which any fresher students can opt for. So MBA is more of professional accredited course, and this is more of generic international management degree which you can opt for. Okay, if you am applying for MBA in France, which exams do I need to opt for, IELTS or TOEFL? Either of it is fine. IELTS is more preferable, and TOEFL also you can opt for it because they accept TOEFL exams as well. We still have time. You can drop up the questions. Definitely, we will take it up further. To go abroad, you only need to give GMAT. GMAT along with the English language updates. That is, you have to opt for GMAT along with IELTS, either or TOEFL. Okay, majority of Canadian colleges doesn't provide scholarships or financial aid for PG diploma courses, which we have to avail in US top universities like Harvard, Stanford, and MIT for pursuing masters. For this purpose only, they have mentioned that Indian student pursue masters in India, then apply in USA. So my question is whether pursue masters in India in the same field and any other courses, because visa officers question why you want. That is amazing question, Amisha, because university has their own criteria wherein we have to understand the embassy's criteria as well. So we fall with 1 year of degree back in Canada, back in USA, because we don't follow American education system. So in order to approach Harvard, Stanford, and MITs, they require us to have something which is a double master's degree. But amazingly or contradictory questions are asked by the embassy people as well, that why you want to go with double masters, you have already invested behind your highest qualification back in India and now you are applying for something which is double masters. So this is a bit tricky part, but as a part of an education and as a part of the educational requirement with this top B schools, we have to appear for the MBA or any master's degree back in India, and then we can apply for MBA courses in this top B schools. Now, the trick and twist is that how we encounter the interviews make difference. So that is what we make you learn, or we make you practice before you appear for your visa interviews, because we do have students who have already cracked Harvard, we do have students who have already cracked Stanford as well, and again we face the same problems. But then you have to be very confident, you need to have a valid reason behind why you want to do double masters and do such a huge investment. Ideal GMAT score is somewhere around 750. IELTS and TOEFL both are international English language tests, and TOEFL is offered by different awarding bodies. IELTS is awarded by different awarding bodies, and rest there is no such difference. The exam pattern bit differs. Rather than this, the test scoring remains same. Okay, Bomik, what was your question? Can we do MIM directly after MBA in Canada? Any master's degree would have the same criterias. So 4 years degree somewhere around, which is going to hamper with the top B schools. So where you can do MBA with +3, there you can also do MIM as well. So there is no such difference. But if you want to go with the top B schools, they require you to have +4. They don't consider 10th and 12th percentage, right? So if you're applying for master's degree, bachelor's qualification and the extracurricular makes sense, not the 10th, 12th percentage. But if you're applying for any sort of diplomas, undergrad diplomas, then 12th percentage are taken into consideration. Any other questions? Are there any visa interviews for PG courses in Canada? Absolutely no. Rather, you opt for PG, diplomas, graduate certificates, MBAs. There are no interview structuring followed by Canadian consulates. So it's all on online visa filing system. We still have time. You can either unmute yourself, we can speak, and or else we can definitely drop a question here and I can answer it. Okay, getting directly in contact with me, you can approach to the coordinators here and they will share you my contact details and we can definitely get in touch and I will guide you further for the process. So you can either contact to Anushka, she can give my number to you, or Mr. Divya, and we can get in touch.
Yeah, Mary, I have one question.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
after BTech, uh, master's degree outside, that is internationally, for 1 week one should go in for, or for 2 years, or how they can plan for the same.
Okay, so ma'am, firstly, it depends upon the student's academic background, like whatever they have studied, what percentage and what number of backlogs they have, because that really makes an impact while approaching for master's degree in abroad universities. Saying this, if you are going for Canada, ideally the master's is for 1.5 or 2 years. It depends upon what number of years of work experience we want to capture for. If we are going for Australia, though the masters are available for 1.5 and 2 years, but ideally being an international students, we prefer we have to have 2 years of master's degree, because then and then they would be eligible for PGWP, that is post study work visas, and that is for 2 years. Rest, anywhere in the world if you go, that's fine, whatever number of masters you go with it, that is 1 year of duration or 2 years of duration, it hardly matters. Like for New Zealand as well, the work permit criteria remains same, UK it remains same, USA it remains same, so that's fine, no problem. So in order to select the country, there are only two things we need to keep in mind. One is the budget and another one is the educational background of the student. Right. So there is another question I can see. Aren't there any internships abroad? Internships are there in abroad. Like as I said, in UK, they have 1 year masters, 1 year of entire 1 year, they provide you with the internship courses. In Canada, if you opt for any diploma, technical diplomas, they have co-op terms available with you. So internships are definitely there with the universities. It depends upon which country we opt for. There is another question. Can we give competitive exam in fifth semester? Yes, you can start giving it in the fifth semester. Ideally, not with the IELTS and TOEFL, because they are valid only for 2 years. So if you're appearing for GMAT, GRE, it's valid for 4 to 5 years. So that's fine. But if you're appearing something which is English language stuff, go ahead with, if your course is for sixth semester, you can appear it in fifth semester and start applying. And if your course is for 8 semesters, I would suggest that you appear it in the 7th semester. We are still open for the course questions. You can drop your questions. Is going for co-op is better option in Canada? If you get an opportunity, it's better. If you don't get it, don't retreat yourself, because again, as I said, Canada is offering you a practical studies. So definitely you have an opportunity to get through your internship in and out ways. So if there is co-op, it is good. If it is not co-op, then also you don't have to regret yourself. Don't worry about it. Would you recommend January or May intake? Due to current pandemic situation, I would prefer whichever intake you get the admissions through, opt for it rather than thinking too much, because right now, due to the delays into the results, and the board has also delayed the results, majority of students have deferred their intakes into the upcoming intakes. And that's the reason majority of admissions have already been occupied. So to my amazement and to your amazement, May intake has already been started for Canada. Half of the courses have already been filled up. So things are really tedious right now. So rather than thinking too much, it's always better appear for your eyes and start making up an application. Yes, I am from Global Alliance. What is the age limit of studying in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and USA? Basically, there is no such age limit in abroad countries, but yes, it depends upon the universities whether they want to accept you or not. Because New Zealand doesn't matter, whatever you have studied, like say for example, you have completed your graduation way back in 2008, and then you have been working since then. So this 12 years, whatever you have done, your practical activities need to be documented. If it has been documented, they won't hamper your prospectus. But for Australia and Canada, colleges are having their own limitations. So Australia would rather prefer you not to have more than 5 to 6 years of gap. And Canada, if you're applying for master's degree, if your bachelor's was excellent way back, that is no problem. You can still make up an application and proceed further. USA, you have more than 5,000 options. So definitely for USA, you will get something out of it if you do have 15 years of gap as well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I hope all the questions are answered.
Yes.
I would request Priyanka Saluja, ma'am, to please present a vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Tarushi. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. A very bright good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Priyanka Saluja, Assistant Professor, Management Department, takes this proud privilege to deliver the vote of thanks this afternoon. It gives me an immense pleasure to extend a sincere thanks to Chairman Sir, Dr. R.K. Tandon, for his constant support and guidance for conducting these kind of knowledgeable webinars. I would also like to take this opportunity to present a heartfelt thanks to Director Ma'am Dr. Barkha Behel. Thank you, ma'am. It would not have been possible to conduct this webinar without you being a constant source of motivation for all of us and being our pillar of strength. I would like to extend a special thanks to our distinguished resource person for the day, Miss Mary. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an insightful session. It was an absolute delight listening to you. I'm sure all the participants must have benefited from the session today. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Also, Mr. Divya Nagpal, thank you, sir. We are enlightened with this wonderful collaboration with you and your team. Looking forward for many more thoughtful events for our students. I would also like to acknowledge the efforts of Mr. Manish, the CEO of the Immigration Experts. Last but not the least, I would like to express my gratitude towards my supporting colleagues, Ms. Tanya Chatwal, for managing the entire event, Ms. Sagrika, Mr. Sahil, and Mr. Musharraf for the graphic designing and technical support. And of course, our student coordinator, Tarushi, for beautifully moderating the event. I would like to conclude by saying that the webinar would not have been a great success without the patience and support of all the participants. So thank you so much for being patient. Thank you. Have a good day.
I would like to request everyone to please switch on their cameras for a virtual group photograph. Please switch on your cameras for a virtual group photograph. Students, kindly please switch on your cameras.
Tarushi, done.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you, Mary. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a nice
you,
day,
ma'am.
everyone.
Mm.
Yeah.